Whether it's verbal or physical, it's a kind of violence that is often hidden, and statistics show it isn't going away. Northern BC has some of the highest rates of domestic violence in the province. Police and community groups are trying to improve the situation.
I was 17 when I met him. He was 27. So what was he doing with the 17-year-old when I look back on it now?
Now she can see what went wrong.
I never expected anybody to, any male, to be violent towards me, and it wasn't until I was married to him that the violence started.
Sharon Hurt escaped the relationship, but others never do. Over the last 10 years, the BC Coroner's Service has kept track of people killed by their spouse or partners. Per capita, the most are in northern BC. Since 2004, 17 victims have died in situations of domestic violence.
We've never really had a coroner come out and say there's a war on women.
The Phoenix Transition House is one place to go when a woman chooses to leave. Sharon Hurt says there's help for women and children, but there needs to be more focus on offenders.
When a man feels that he has to control through intimidation and violence, then he's fearful of losing. And so I think if you can give them other ways of communicating, of sharing, of listening.
In 2012, the Prince George RCMP established a unit dedicated to domestic violence. Last year alone, it received 1,122 calls.
Once you deal with the initial report, there's very little victim follow-up after the fact. So in this role, now I have a lot more contact with the victims, which I like. I feel like I can make more of a difference that way.
But these kinds of cases are complicated and sensitive. Police check in with the most high-risk couples.
We try and make sure that they're supported. If they don't have the family support in town, then we try to just make sure if there are any barriers to overcome, even if the couple staying together, if they have counseling.
Marriage and children. That's what Sharon Hurt feels was expected of her back in the 1960s.
Things have changed, but the violence hasn't. And it's about education. It's about teaching, because what you learn and behavior is learned, you can unlearn.
That's how she believes the cycle will finally come to an end. Camille McDonald, CKPG News.